Hi everyone, and this is Petra Colindres again, your Unimom lactation consultant here with you today. And we're going to be talking a little bit about one of their pumps. It's called the Minuet. Maybe you've heard of it, I don't know. So we'll be talking about all the different parts today, how to utilize properly, and we'll talk a little bit too about breast milk storage and cleanliness, just because it is very important to make sure that we're cleaning everything and that we're providing milk for our little ones as safely as possible, especially, maybe your little one, I really hope not, but sometimes kids go into the NICU, or maybe they're in a step-down unit, or maybe they're just right beside you and we just want to be extra clean, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that too. There are some misconceptions, so we'll be sure to address that today. So let's get right into it. So let me first show you the Minuet, and yes, it really is this tiny. It fits in the palm of my hand. How I mean, that's the one thing. I know it's all about looks. It's also about function, right? And I wouldn't be talking about a product I didn't think had a good function, but it is really cute. And it is really teeny tiny. So that is really convenient. Again, I'm just holding this in the palm of my hand with no problem. So that's great. Also, talking about attention to detail, Unimom, again, talks to so many moms. You can tell that they do. First of all, if you can see where you put your little, your tubing for your pump, it's a little bear with a smiley face. Adorbs. I know, it's so cute. Also on the back here too, this is actually where you gotta plug in your pump. The nice thing about this type of plug-in, first of all, you guys probably have seen this on a computer or something like that, so a lot of your chargers will just in case you do forget. We all know that we forget chargers. It happens before, so you don't have to have a special one, which is really nice. But beyond that as well, actually this is a USB cord, but you get a special outlet with a USB, that can connect to USB to your wall. I don't want to pull it out, but just trust me on this. So that's really nice that you're going to have the ability to not only plug into a wall socket if you need to, but let's say you're at a computer, a lot of us work and we're pumping and you just have the USB drive, you really could just plug it into your computer and be a-okay to pump, which, how funny is that, right? It's all about being multifaceted and multitasking, right? We're moms here. We gotta make it work how we can. I've been there, right? So little pump, super cute, very powerful. So that's the big thing too. So the really nice thing too, there's only 4 buttons. It's a little hard to see, so I'm gonna get oh, there we go. You guys can tell now. So there are 4 buttons. This is gonna be your on-off switch. You guys probably see that it's on right now. That's off. This is gonna be putting into your different modes. So let me show you this. That's on. P is for your massage mode. You can actually see massage in the corner there. This is your expression mode. So I think of L, leave the breast, right? So X, expression mode, you can tell is already a little bit stronger, and P is going to be for your massage mode, okay? These are going to actually take you through the different massage and expression modes that there are. So there's actually 7 different massage and expression modes for each section that you choose. So you can kind of go through them just by doing this. So that's 2. This is massage mode 2. You can tell it's a little bit quicker, right? And a little bit stronger. This one's a little bit quick, and then a break. That's again massage mode. So this one's same, harder, same, harder. So that's actually one of the nice functions about this Minuet pump, is that their expression modes and their massage modes, they vary. So some women might notice, in a massage mode that it's only one suction. Unimom actually will go into different strengths and see what your body responds back or responds to the best. So again, you have 7 different massage modes and you have 7 different expression modes. What I would tell any mom is just to play with it. We all have our own individualized bodies. And so Unimom has, they have 7, I can't do the math in my head right now, but you can make a lot of different combinations. At least 49, I would think, right? Just by going through the couple different expression modes here to see which massage best meets your expression. If any of you guys are mathematicians out there or engineers, make fun of my math and tell me what the true empirical number would be if you multiply that out, because I did not prepare for that math equation I just gave myself there. Again, this is another expression that they have. This one's a little bit more, it's 3 that are the same intensity, and then the last burst is a little bit stronger. This one is it builds too strong in a row. This one goes, I'm like kind of like baseline strong, baseline even stronger, and then it goes back. So again, you do get to play with what massage modes you like the best. And then also, as I click here, same with the expression mode. I am going to turn it off for a minute because I do believe we need to talk about what is the difference between massage and expression. What does that mean to me? Massage means basically letting your body have a letdown. If you're breastfeeding as well as pumping, which yay mamas, that's let's do it, right? Bring those babies to the breast if we can, right? But if we are doing both, what you'll notice is that your baby doesn't just, they'll latch onto the breast. Maybe you have two, maybe they're both latching onto the breast, and they'll start with like very light sucks, and that's kind of emulating the massage mode, or the pump is emulating those light sucking modes. Literally, when your baby gets onto your breast for the first 30 to 90 seconds, just depending on your body, the whole purpose is for your baby to elicit that milk letdown. Some women will feel it, some women won't. It's okay if you don't feel it. In fact, it's kind of nice not to feel it sometimes. And you might be one of those moms. I was this mother who didn't feel it for like six months, I think. And then like at month 7, I started feeling it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. So there's nothing wrong with any way, and you still can exclusively breastfeed your kid, even if you don't feel that milk letdown. I think some women think that too. If you don't feel the tingling sensation in your breast, does that mean I'm not making milk and can't breastfeed? Nope, just means you don't get that additional feeling, and it's a-okay, right? But as I mentioned, when your baby does latch on, they're going to go through that slight sucking phase, and right after the sucking phase, it tells your body, it sends signals up through your nervous system up to your brain, and your brain's like, ooh, I better release these hormones to make a milk reflex to let the milk let down. Once your milk lets down, your baby's gonna be like, this is what I was working for here, and then we'll start really gulping and swallowing, right? And so usually that gulping and swallowing, which if we are liking that on the Unimom pump or on the Minuet pump, that's gonna be the expression mode. That's gonna be a little bit stronger because you're in a little bit not as frequent, because your babies are going to be like opening their mouth and gulping, opening their mouth and gulping. And really how babies drink too. I mean, it really depends. It can be a 1-to-1 ratio like I just described. Suck and swallow, suck and swallow. Some babies might be a little bit, 1, 2, 3 sucks and swallows, or 1, 2 sucks and swallows. That's typically the normal patterns we look for. If babies might deviate a little bit more than that, but we can talk about that at another time, what that may or may not mean. So that's just kind of explaining to you what the difference between the P and the L, right, or the massage and the expression, and why you would want to do both. Also, something to mention as well, if you guys are breastfeeding, you probably notice that sometimes your babies are massaging, then they gulp and swallow, but they don't stay in the gulp and swallow the whole time, right? The whole time you're breastfeeding, they're going to go back and forth between the massaging or the butterfly kisses or whatever you want to call it, back to those deep gulps and swallows. What that means to me as a lactation consultant is we need to work our pump the same way. So if you are pumping, I'm going to turn it back on here. There we go. It's on the P. You start feeling that tingly milk let down. You're like, yay, I feel the tingles, or I see the milk really shooting a lot heavier in my bottle. That's another way to tell if you have a letdown, right? I'm going to go to the L, and everything's going great. And then you notice that maybe you're not getting out as much milk as you wanted to. That's when we're going to go back to that P again and have that massage, okay? So kind of it is best, it really does help with your milk supply. Actually, if you go between these two buttons, don't let the machine decide for you. Take a little bit of manpower, take a little, do a little juggling with your hands and go back and forth between those two expressions. Okay, I did promise you that I was going to go through the expressions on the leave the milk side, or leave my breast side too, right? So this is just a just a 1-for-1 ratio. You can, if you want to, in all the instructions, it tells you what the cycles are, how many millimeters mercury that you're actually sucking. But again, I mean, unless you're a scientist and you really like to know that stuff, which again, if you're a mother that's pumping and a scientist, you go girl. A lot of us do like to know that, but I would just say, see what does work best for your body, because every body is different, right? So going through the cycles, you can tell this is a little bit stronger. It's still pretty frequent, but maybe not as frequent as number 1. Even stronger again, right? You guys hear that? Stronger. And what you'll notice too is as the strength increases, the frequency or the cycle will also slightly decrease, just because we need to have a little bit more time to have that strength build up. But again, it really is working with your body and what best works for your body. Same here, we're still just building. Building even more. Even more. So 8 and 9 are my favorite. So 8 and 9 really try to mimic a baby's breastfeeding a little bit better. This one goes 1, 2, 3. You guys hear that, right? So it's like suck, suck, swallow. Suck, suck, swallow. That's what the pump is actually trying to mimic, and that's a very nice feature of this pump because it is a little bit more how a baby would actually breastfeed. Number 9 does the same pattern as well, but a little bit different and a little bit stronger. It's going to be about 4 sucks, if I'm counting right, and then it's going to have that swallow pattern. And those sucks actually will increase a little bit each time. And so again, too, it really just depends on what your body is most responsive to. With all of this, there is no right or wrong. It's really just how your body reacts. I always tell my moms, please play. This pump is really easy to play with too. It's like, okay, I'm gonna play with the P and I'm gonna push the button and see which one works the best for my body. 100%, that's awesome. Also too, this is where you're gonna put, here's the pump features right here. You probably have seen flanges and bottles before, right? No, maybe for some of you this is new. This is where you're gonna put your breast, okay? This is actually the tube that will connect to the pump, and you're gonna connect it to the happy little bear right there. Boom, just like, oh, I can't do this with one hand. I'm gonna do those multitasking skills right there. You go ahead, connect it, and you're good to go. One thing to know is if you are only going to be pumping one side, what you want to make sure you do is come here and close the other side, just like so. If you don't close the other side, you will have problems with the pump. Now, if you're going to pump both breasts at the same time and have the other tube on the other side, you'll be fine. But if you're not, just make sure that you close it. Otherwise, you just won't have the greatest suction, and it's all about suction when it comes to pumping. So we talked about, talking about the flanges. This is where your breast goes. Make sure that it's a bullseye. You don't want it crooked. You want to make sure your nipple's right in the middle there. Let's talk a little bit about how long breast milk lasts, right? And how to clean everything, because those are really important features. So when it comes to pumping, you want to make sure that you clean everything before you pump. So what I mean by that is I usually tell my parents to clean their pump immediately after each use. There's those really nice steam bags that you can put all your parts in, put a little bit of water, put it in the microwave, call it a day. Those are really nice to use. You can also, wash it out with like hand soap and water. There's something wrong with that. So those are all really nice key features that you should be utilizing after each pump, okay? I think the bags are a little bit easier, but do whatever works best for you guys, right? They both work the same. One's not better than the other. When we're coming to the actual spot where you're gonna pump, you wanna make sure that you're washing your hands before your pump, 20 seconds, getting all like a surgeon, right? Everywhere. You're gonna make sure that you wash everything. Hand sanitizer is good too, but soap and water is always gonna be best. And then you actually want to make sure that you're disinfecting everything in the area that you're at, especially if you're sharing, maybe it's a shared pumping room or shared break room, or who knows where you're pumping. Make sure that you wipe that down too, because you just don't want any contaminants anywhere. So that's what I typically recommend, is not only make sure that we wash the pump, which again, after every time we want to make sure we wash the pump, but also the area and your hands, right? When I say wash the pump, let me be a little specific. I mean this part. I mean all of these things. I don't mean the tubing. If you usually put the tubing in the washer, you can have some problems. If you ever want it to get some moisture out, just let the pump run by itself without hooking these up. It'll push the moisture out. So that's usually the easiest thing to make sure that's all clean. When we do take, wash our pump, we do want to take this part apart. We want to go, so this part is now out there. You want to take this little guy out. Yes, this little key piece needs to be removed every single time, guys, okay? And then you want to make sure as well that we wash this part that I can take off as well, okay? So you want to make sure that you take off all these things, and even this guy. Look at that, right? Now, you do want to make sure that you put everything back, but it's really easy. This pump is super easy to put back together. the biggest question usually is, where does this go? But then you can kind of make sure, because it's mimicked on the bottom here. They actually look like one another. So that makes it really easy to know where everything goes. So now that we know about how to wash our pump and how frequently to wash our pumping parts, let's talk about how good breast milk lasts for. So breast milk is an amazing substance, but honestly, there hasn't been too many studies about how long breast milk lasts. Like we go with best practices. We'll talk about that, but I am waiting for someone to do a research study to know how long we could actually freeze breast milk and it still be used for. But right now we just go with best practices. So what our best practices are, number one is that we usually say that, I call it the rule of sixes, and you might hear 4 to 6. Whatever is your comfort zone, right? If you maybe have a more immune compromised genetic background, or maybe your baby was in the NICU or a super preemie or something like that, you might want to stay closer to that 4-month range. If you're a little healthier, 4 to 6 is the range here. But usually it's good at room temperature for 4 to 6 hours. So let's say that you pump and you can't go right away to, maybe you just can't get to the refrigerator and put your milk in there right away. 4 to 6 hours at room temperature, we're good to go, okay? From 4 to 6, let's say you go ahead and put your milk in the refrigerator. Your milk will be good in the refrigerator for 4 to 6 days, okay? So again, that roll of 4 to 6, about a week. If you take that breast milk and instead of putting it in the refrigerator, you go ahead and put it in the freezer, it's going to be good for 4 to 6 months in the freezer, and that's the freezer that's attached to your refrigerator. Let's say you have a deep freeze in your garage, or who knows where you have a deep freeze. You have a deep freeze somewhere, and you put your breast milk there. Your breast milk in the deep freezer is going to be good for a year. So again, you get your more bang for your buck if you actually if you make a lot of milk where you put it in the deep freeze. That's where you really will be able to utilize it. Again, whenever you do store breast milk or put it in the freezer or the refrigerator, don't put it on the side of the door. You want to push it all the way back, and that's just going to keep the temperature more cooled down and not have those fluctuations as much, and it's a better product for you and your baby. So that's all that I got for you guys today. I hope you learned a little bit something. We'll be coming back very frequently, giving you bits and updates and how to pump, how to maximize your milk expression. Any of those questions that you just have that are burning, that you are dying to know, please comment below. We'll make videos about it. Always reach out to Unimom. We're here for you. And then also make sure that you're giving us calls. We can call. We are here to help you, either if you're having pumping problems, if you need a lactation consultant, if you're not making enough milk. We have people that know the pump. We have people like me who know breastfeeding, and we work together to make you guys successful, because at the end of the day, the reason that we're doing this is so you guys all reach your breastfeeding goals. So again, I'm super thrilled to be here today. I hope you learned a little bit something about the pump, and we'll be back later. Bye guys. Thanks.